Hey crafty friends, this is Jenny from Craft Test Dummies for Plaid today, and I'm going to show you how you can reduce your single-use plastics and upcycle a plain string bag or cotton tote into a fun and stylish market bag. Let's take a look.
Okay, so let's get started with the materials that you need. I am using these cardboard stencils from FolkArt, a cotton drawstring bag. You could also use a cotton tote bag that you upcycle from something else. This is a water-soluble marker for marking fabric, but it's optional. And of course, some dishes to put your paint in, a couple of paintbrushes, and your selection of watercolor acrylics of your choice. I kind of like these funky, fresh colors. Now I'm also going to start by preparing my stencil, and because this is a cardboard stencil, I need to remove all of the inside pieces first, and then I have to start marking my lines. And there are actually two ways of going about this. So when I first started, I thought the best way would be to use my disappearing watercolor marker and go ahead and draw inside. Now, depending on how big your design is, this may work really well for you. You could also use a light pencil if you don't have a water-soluble marker, but honestly at the end I found out that actually just pouncing through the stencil worked better. So now I'm going to use the watercolor resist product, and what makes this so cool is that means that I can just go ahead, apply this to the cotton, let it dry, and of course it's going to resist, which just gives me kind of this neat design. So even though I tried just painting it in initially, I quickly abandoned that and I decided just to pounce it with a sponge. And again, because this is not an adhesive stencil, you may want to tack it down with some tape, or as you can see, I'm just using Post-it notes here. But to apply the watercolor resist product, what you're going to do is just pounce it in, and think about it not even as pouncing it in as much as it pressing it down through the stencil and into the fabric below. Because it's a cotton fabric, it's going to absorb the resist product, and when it dries, it'll do its job perfectly well. Now, when I was all done, I wanted to lift it up just to kind of show you what it looked like. And it's really hard to see on camera because, of course, it's kind of a tone on tone, but it's there. Now you're going to want to let this dry for about, 6 hours or so. So I decided to put a little bit of plastic underneath because I really only wanted to paint the top layer of the string bag. If you don't mind the color going all the way through, you don't have to do this part, but just a piece of plastic in between helps keep all of the water and the color on top. So one of the things I noticed about the watercolor acrylics is they really want more water. So I sprayed the top of my canvas bag liberally with water. You can actually even see the outline there. And then I even added a little extra water to the paint itself just to make it a little bit more runny, a little more flowy, because that's what really makes it feel like watercoloring. So I apply it with a nice broad brush. I like to let it overlap, and I'm not even worried about going over my arrows at this point because I'll be able to clean it up before it dries completely. So this is the part where you can really just have a good time mixing and blending your colors. It has that nice, soft, translucent quality the way actual watercolor does. And it's the gel formula of these paints that really kind of give it that translucency and looseness that mimic watercolor. And why do we like this on fabric? Because once it dries, it acts like an acrylic, which means that I'm going to wash this, I'm going to dry this, and the colors will remain just as gorgeous and vibrant as when I first applied them. You'll see. So I'm actually going to add even a few little splatters because I felt like if I was going to have this on a canvas, that would be something I would do. And really, we just have one more step until we're done. So if you notice you have a lot of color on top of your resist, I just took a wet baby wipe. You could also use a paper towel, and I just kind of dabbed off the extra paint. That really allows the watercolor resist area to remain even brighter, even more vibrant, and it kind of cleans up some of the loose material on the top. So you're going to repeat this process until it's all done. Now for good measure, I remove the plastic, I let it hang up over the edge of the chair, and I let it dry overnight. And then I just give it a quick hand wash and a dry in the dryer, and you can see how bright and vibrant the colors are. So there you go. This is wonderful for taking to the grocery store, using for sleepovers, the library, any place where you might need a bag and you don't want to use a plastic one. So have fun, happy upcycling, and as always, have a crafty day.